I also want to throw out there, because I know this came up last year, and I have to correct the record. I've already complained before about how people basically were riding G2 and win the finals of Worlds. But I'll reiterate it a different way. You know, when everyone was saying, like, it's just a consensus, like, LEC is the better region than LCK. Don't really get that. Like, G2 was better than LCK. I can have a brilliant discussion about that. In what world was Fnatic and Splice last year better than the Korean teams? Like, spoiler, they didn't place ahead of them. Last year, all 3 Korean seeds won their groups and got to the playoffs. This year, all 3 Korean teams got to the playoffs. One of them is probably about to win Worlds. Like, put it this way, there's only one Korean team left, and Damwon, I'm going to guess most people are probably going to predict is going to win, right? If Damwon wins, does that mean LCK is back on top again? Of course it doesn't. They're an outlier. Like, we all know Gen G just got their ass spanked by this team. No one knows what DRX would have done, but quite frankly, despite what people said in scrims, they looked bad on stage. They looked like they had some issues. So people need to stop doing this thing where you take what is by definition the outlier and say that leads the pattern. When you do a pattern like that and you draw the line through the graph, you take the one up here and you ignore it because it actually will make you less able to do the average. So I would say this. In my opinion, it goes like this. To touch on what Jensen said before, I think in terms of understanding of macro and how to win the game, LEC is ahead of LCK because I see the same problems from everyone except Damwon. That's why I told people coming into this tournament, you'll know the people who didn't watch LCK if they think that these are just 3 teams like last year. Like, Damwon is a different beast, especially what they can do early. And then secondly, I'll also throw this in as well. In the same sense as the LEC's ahead like that, though, you know all those complaints that we get yearly that go like this? Why is every bloody top 20 worlds list full of these Asian players? Much of a Korean dick suck. It's like the old argument, right? That's the reason why. Think about it. If they're strategically worse, but they're better in results, going to need something to be better there, aren't I? So how about the players? Like, I'm at this point when I watch the semi-finals. You hear people make these excuses for Western players like, well, it's only his first world, so how could you expect it, right? Go and have a look at that guy Ghost. He was considered, in theory, the worst player on the team earlier this year. He's a brand new player to the team, and he was just fucking chilling while just spanking asses in the semi-final. Yeah, the Hangfang guy is looking like an MVP of the whole tournament. In fact, you know what? That's the trend in history. In history, if you're a banger from the Asia region, there are certain ones who don't make it. Like, you know what? Knight wasn't as crazy as everyone thought. I'll totally take that on the chin. Name, classic example. There's always the Dade Award winners. But what people ignore is it happens by default with Western teams. Whereas actually, that's not even an expectation. So in my opinion, listen, we can have all sorts of great discussions, but don't try and push the idea that like Europe has like better players than Korea. Child, please. That is nonsense. They can bring in subs that are bangers, for fuck's sake.
All I'm going to say is look what the European rookies did at Worlds this year, Mad Lions, compared to what some of the Asian team rookies have done who have never played at a Worlds before, right?
Absolutely. That was just by the by anyway.